Can you hear me good?
Yeah, we're Gucci. Let me turn it up.
Bam, we're live.
Yeah. We're good.
Good to see
So
you.
what's going on, man? How you say your name? Like Seven? Like Lucky Seven?
Like Lucky Seven, but Sevan.
Sevan. I like it.
Sevan. It's a lake in Armenia. My parents are both Armenian. Armenia
Oh,
is a
bro, my best
small.
friend is Armenian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every good man, every strong man should have a sidekick Armenian man.
Yeah.
The only cats that the Black Panthers rolled with their lawyer, the only white guy they allowed in the group was their lawyer. He's Armenian dude.
He's an Armenian guy. I always say you
Armenian
gotta
guy.
keep if you're doing business, you gotta keep a good Armenian and a quality Jew next to you.
For sure. I got a Jew wife, and that is fucking money.
Bro, my wife is Jewish also. Look at us collaborating right now. Imagine I
And
was
so,
having problems this morning because I'm using her
Mhm.
laptop. We came to Arkansas, where I'm from, and to visit my
Okay.
mother, my grandmother, and her laptop is in Hebrew. So imagine when you sent me the link, everything was in Hebrew. So I started clicking shit, thinking it's like the basics, and everything got blocked.
Are you tripping that just some strange little Armenian man in California reaches out to you on Instagram and is like, "Hey, come on my podcast"?
Oh, bro, I was loving it. I was loving it because before so many people used to ask me, like, come on my show, come on my show. And then when I kind of like look at the individuals, I'm like, man, you know what? I don't really gel with that individual. Just looking at his posts, looking at what he's saying, even if he's supporting Trump or if he's supporting Biden, at the same time, I'm going, bro, you don't even have quality content. You don't have quality conversations. So when I saw your style, I was like, yeah. This is definitely a capital yes, like that.
Awesome. You vetted me. You vetted me. Um, so I stumbled across your Instagram account and I'm fascinated by it. And I'm fascinated by it for a couple reasons. One, because it scares the shit out of me. So those are the things that I like to lean into, right? A little bit.
Yes.
And I was raised to be a good liberal boy to feel sorry for the Mexican immigrants, feel sorry for the black man, and my life was so good. And even though my parents struggled, right? They're both basically Armenian immigrants. We lived, uh, very poor, pretty damn poor. But there's this whole it's this liberal mindset, right? There's this disguise of you're being sympathetic and nice. But really you're demeaning people. You're
Back.
demeaning people, and it's
Back.
weird. And I have really good parents and nice parents, but first I think that they're slow to the trigger to realize, it comes from a good place.
Yeah,
Like
it's just
help.
like my parents. My parents they're like blind Democrats, but you love them to death, because it's like
Yeah.
you just got at this point, you can't even judge people at this point when you start looking at all of the crazy things. I'm going, man, whoever had like good foundation, like my parents are married over 40 plus years. So I come from a good background. But then when you start
Yeah.
understanding that we rise above where they even reached. So I'm in business, whereas my father's still driving trucks. So I've leveled up and now I level my son up. So then the mindset must have to change. So when you look at the structures, like what my mother and them, why they vote or why they still vote Democrat, you go, that's their peak. This is where their information stops, and they're not seeking any other opposite information. So it's like I have to be that seeker. And so when I start seeking better information to better my family, to be the beacon of light, to like just take us into a generational change. Because for me, people go left, people go right. I just move forward. Like I'm not in the business of going in circle, left side, right side, Democrat, conservative, liberal. Like I don't care about all of those things. I go the simple fact, like our children in trouble, bro. like the children are literally in trouble. So I go, you could be a Democrat and still understand that your kids are in trouble.
Do you think that you wouldn't have been this passionate about these subjects if you didn't have kids? I sometimes
Oh, for
think that,
sure,
like, yeah,
for sure.
there's this obligation. How do you make the mind shift? I'll tell you a quick story, just super
Yeah,
duper quick. So there's two guys walking down the sidewalk. There's a snail on the sidewalk, and one of the guys says, "Oh shit, I'm going to do the good deed, and I'm going to pick this snail up, and I'm going to set it back in the bushes." And what he doesn't realize is he picks the snail up and he sets it back in the bushes, right where the snail bait is, and he kills the snail. He thinks he's doing good and helping, but really he just killed this guy. And we live in a society full of that. We live in a society full of it. It's one of
Fact.
the biggest problems for our children. We have this huge movement. We have these huge movements like Asian hate, BLM, that they think that they're helping, but they don't understand the mechanism of the mind, and so that they're really hurting people. And we could go into that. But they're really just dividing, right? Every time they say black man, they're forcing everyone to. It's just like every time they say Trump, they're forced. That's a trigger word for people. That you can't even say Trump
It's
around
triggered.
them. Something starts up in their brain, you know. And
It's the TDA.
What's TDA?
The TDS is called the Trump derangement syndrome. You know, like
Right.
because people see that Trump sign, they just lose all aspects of just everything. You know.
How did you come out of it? How did you like make the shift? If you were raised to be a Democrat, how does someone like start to evolve and be like, wait a second, I'm not thinking clearly?
For me, it was more like it was not even about even politics, because when I was growing up, we were like such sports oriented that you didn't even realize like your parents or even looking at that side. And my parents are not even like big political people, so they never even talk about it. My mom was always like, you just better yourself. You're going to be a superstar one day. You need to learn how to write. You need to learn how to read. You need to learn how to cook. So I'm from the country, so we're not political at all. My parents are not political at all. They just vote blue. So
Yeah.
for me, it was just like when I started just becoming more independent and just being around more people, because I do business and I'm doing business in Vegas, I'm doing business overseas. And then you start mingling with different styles of cultures. And then you start realizing, I'm just like, yo, hold on, wait a minute. We've been taught wrong. And then when you start questioning everything, it is not even just believing anymore. You just seek your truth. And everybody's truth is different. And that is what's so crazy. Like, you can take someone who was a Democrat and switch him to a conservative, and the reason why he did that is not just for the simple fact that the children in trouble, or that these guys are trying to feminize men, or they're bringing in a whole new world. That is not even the trigger. People are just so tired of just being lied to. People are tired of being just bamboozled, and that's left side, right side. And now people are just evolving. And this is where I always say, like, I was never even jumping in on, I was supporting Trump for the simple fact I'm just highly against the Clintons. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like highly against the Clintons because I'm from Arkansas. So I knew, like, yo, we can't allow the Clintons to get in there, or we would have a Russia-Ukraine in 2017.
Right.
You
Yeah,
see,
that's some of the scary shit on your Instagram. By scary, I don't mean it's scary because I don't want to believe it. There's a video you put up there of Hillary Clinton, and it shows her history, and it shows that she was in as a young attorney, she defended a pedophile in 1975
and knew he was a pedophile.
Yeah, and it shows her laughing about the fact that she got the court to believe him, and that shit's hard. That shit's really hard to process.
It's a big horse pill to swallow, and a lot of people are refusing to take those pills, and it's like,
do you research the shit out of that before you post that? Because I'm thinking to myself, like, imagine if someone said that, like, there's a hierarchy of shit you want to be accused of, right? Like a few years ago, it used to suck to be called racist. Now it kind of doesn't matter because it's been ubiquitous. But now you don't want to be called a pedophile. Like, really, like, that one still is bad.
Yeah, no. To be honest, to be called a pedophile nowadays is like almost they're like normalizing it. Have you seen those flyers? Pedophiles need love too. Pedophiles are humans.
No,
bro, I'm telling you, man. Google it, look it up. They got flyers out like pedophiles need like pedophile is not like I think, what is it called? I think it's like pedo love. It's a brochure. Like, check it out. Like, there's a whole organization that is pushing that pedophiles are human beings and they're not criminals. They're not like they're like okay sexualizing like children. It's a whole operation.
Yeah, I did. It's so crazy. I did see something where they were basically saying they were trying to extend this thing, like, we have to accept everyone for what they want, their sexual appetite. I saw this thing where, like, you have to accept men who want men and women who want women, and then you have to accept, and then they were kind of creeping into that space where you have to accept adults who want children.
Yeah, it's so creepy at this point, because it's like they normalize the most weirdest thing, and then when you start looking at the people who are looking at the weird things, it's like, yo, this is weird. now we're like homophobe, we're like transphobe, we're like, now
they
they're like,
conflate it. Yeah.
yeah. And I'm like, yo, why are you doing a 360 on this? There's no grown ass man should be having thousands of pictures of naked children on his laptop. Like, why are you okay in that? And that's why I just, my passion comes because of the children. And I have kids, and I'm going, listen.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3. So if I'm not going to see the victory, then the best thing I can do as a father is make sure that I blaze the trail. And if we blaze a proper trail and they're following in proper good footsteps, they can create their own footsteps, which will still mimic mine, but it'll be more evolved. And for me, I think the biggest issue is the wealth gap. So when you speak of the elitists or the individuals that everybody hates, just the evil government, these guys' money is way longer than the average individual that is out there speaking the truth.
Okay, I don't have an issue with the wealth gap. Why do you have an issue with the wealth gap?
Because the wealth gap, I think personally, keeps a lot of individuals from truly growing because they're not educated. And once you're educated, you can make educated decisions that will financially benefit you. And the reason why the wealth gap is so big, because most people don't read anymore. They just
right, but why is it? But okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding. But are you against how much money Bezos has? Do you want to take some of his money?
Oh, no.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm an entrepreneur. Make your money. I'm saying individuals who are complaining about those individuals should get their money up versus.
Oh, yes.
This is the wealth gap. I'm saying, like, there's such a big difference in the, say, just even from me to just the average individual next to me. Whereas they're shooting for an income a year, I'll make it in a month.
Right.
You see, because of the mindset, like the whole mindset is different. So when people start talking about issues, like for an example, when the pandemic.
So you're talking about also personal accountability.
Yes.
Don't hate Bezos. Don't hate Branson. Go get yours.
Go get yours. Go get yours. And if you're not creative at this point, then you're going to be with the masses anyway. So when people start saying, man, the vaccines, the mandates, and they start speaking of those things, I go, man, I don't feel that pressure. I would give that pressure to my people if I was going along with it. So everybody in my operation, nobody felt like mandates. Nobody felt like, oh my God, I was going to lose my job. Nobody felt like that. And I have over 32 like salesmen. So imagine, so it's all about, I always say, like having the right mindset as a leader and properly leading the way. Now you can be manipulated. People have numbers. Everybody has a ticket. For me, I'm a check writer, and that's where I stand at. And I tell people, listen, I don't do business unless I can write the check. And if I can't write the check, let's just have a proper conversation. we can brainstorm. You can get some great ideas. I can get some great ideas, and we can keep it pushing, you know. But most people, when they try to complain about something, they're not doing the proper basic steps to even get to where the actual solution is. You know, that's what I mean by that wealth gap.
Do you remember the last time you voted Democrat?
Oh, I never voted Democrat. I first time I ever voted was for Trump.
Yeah.
First time I ever voted was for Trump. And I always tell people, they go, well, why you never vote? For one, I was never really in the country because I was playing overseas.
Oh, what were you playing?
So I played in Argentina. I played in Qatar. I was over there in the Philippines. I was like,
what sport?
All over. Basketball.
Oh yeah, you have an amazing physique.
Oh yeah,
you're still training hard.
Oh yeah, I still get it. So I went from basketball to mixed martial arts because I was never successful in basketball because I was always on like losing teams. So being a professional, everybody was screaming, oh, you should be happy. But I'm like always on these losing.
That's not the mindset of an accountable person saying you weren't successful because you were on losing team.
And so I'm like, bro, like, and imagine being a point guard, they're always pointing the finger. So I was like, yo, man, how can I change this? Because I'm feeling like, and I was young, so I was never really even being able to accept it. So I was always fighting it because of the ego. When I went into martial arts, I was a one-on-one. It went from a team sport to one-on-one, and I immediately became a champion. Within like 6 months. I won an amateur world title in Muay Thai. And within a year, I'm like fighting with Chuck Norris and things like fighting for Chuck Norris. So I immediately felt successful, but it created a whole nother energy because I felt like I didn't need people anymore, you know?
Yeah. Oh,
you
see,
this is
what I wanted to get at. Yes.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 43.
Okay. I'm 49.
Nice, man. That's what's up. I like that beard, bro.
Thank you. It's kind of new. It's kind of new. Some of my friends were growing out. My younger buddies are growing out these big ones. I was like, all right, motherfuckers, I'm get you.
Yeah.
Grow some shit out. Okay, so because I was going to circle back on that. So that is fascinating. The martial arts brought you to a point of some personal accountability and personal responsibility. It was like, oh shit, it's not, who am I going to blame for this shit?
Exactly. And that's where I started going, you know what? It's just me, my opponent, and the referee. And once they close,
I keep telling people I'm 49. Sorry. I just had my birthday. I'm 50. Now the comments are blowing up saying I'm 50. I'm 50. Okay. Get the fuck off my back. Thank you. Fucking the peanut gallery. Okay, sorry, I interrupted.
No, it's okay, man. So it was more like when I as a fighter, it was like I got the joy of saying like, oh man, I received victory and I did it by myself. But then you start realizing you're not truly by yourself. You're really with the team, but you're performing. You're in charge of the performer. So I took that mentality and I moved it from fighting to business because I eventually realized I had the same energy as a basketball player because I was like, listen, I'm still not getting paid what I think I'm worth. And you guys are making negotiations for me when I'm the fucking fighter. Like, why are you guys negotiating what you guys are going to pay me when I'm the fighter? I'm going to tell you what I want. And if you want me to fight and represent your organization, then we're going to shake hands. But it was always like, yo, this is what you're going to fight for. This is your purse. This is who you're going to fight. This is the day you're going to fight. This is the gloves you're going to wear. And I need you guys to sign right here. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. What is this? Why is this? Why is this? Oh, don't worry about that. You see what I'm saying? It's because they just want you to fight. And then I started realizing the real money was in training fighters because you don't take damage and you get the same amount of money. So I imagine I was a 3-time world champion. Cuz hand me that amateur title in there. I just got to my mama's house, so she pulled out my amateur title belt, bro, from like 2006 right now.
And what was your discipline? What was your martial art?
I was in Muay Thai, and then I was Muay Thai kickboxing, and then I started doing jiu-jitsu. I started learning the all around the board. I took up Krav Maga, weapons training. So I started doing hand-to-hand combat. I started teaching weapons training. So imagine this is my first title. And like from like 2006, and I think it was in Des Moines, Iowa. Yeah, it was like an amateur kickboxing title, and I went to support my friends, and then they was like, "Listen, bro, you should fight." And I was like, "No, bro, I ain't getting into all of that shit, bro. I'm just now started training." They was like, "Bro, you should fight." And as soon as I got out there, and man, I got my first knockout ever, and I felt like I dunked on Michael Jordan for a game winner, bro. So it's like, it's so crazy how when I realized, like, as a fighter, like, how long can you keep fighting? How long can you stay a champion? How long can you keep just beating people up when your energy is so much more? So when I started teaching, I found love with teaching children. And when I started teaching children, I started a kids program, which literally blew up. And so most people know me from my kids program, which was used to be called Little Strikers. So I was teaching kids from ages 3 to 12, the beginning stages of fitness, martial arts, and obedience. And I think right now we are in trouble with our children because there's no one giving them obedience. Like they have no authority figures. And then when the police gets into them to give them authority, there's your rebel right there. You see? And so that journey took me to India. I lived in India 7 years.
Where in India?
I was in Hyderabad, Mumbai, New Delhi, Gujarat. I was like all over India because I was teaching military hand-to-hand combat.
Did you ever spend any time in Varanasi?
Varanasi? No.
Oh, okay.
Not Varanasi. I was just, again, out from Punjab to Kerala.
You must have been quite the sight there.
Oh man, let me bro, when I dropped down over there, people were looking like that Django scene when Jamie Foxx was on the horse. Like people were looking at me like that, like.
Yeah, when you took your shirt, did you walk around a lot in like tank tops or shirtless
Oh
there?
yeah, I walked around. I walked around like shirtless for like literally like the first 2 months, and then I started understanding that I need to
And like people
cover
coming
up.
up and touching you, right? Like that
Oh,
people just
bro,
running up.
it was like this, like
Yeah.
it was like an Indiana Jones scene. I swear.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was there. I'm a little 5'5" Armenian, and I went there in my early 30s, and I still get at it a lot. But I was wearing a Warriors tank top in Varanasi, and I was like, people fucking started wanting to touch me and shit,
Oh
and I
man,
was
that
like,
time
all
to
right, I
touch
got to get
my arm.
dressed. Yeah, yeah. I'm like, holy fuck, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, man, it was crazy. But then I started realizing, like, I started understanding energy when I was in India.
Okay.
You know, and when you start understanding energy, you start understanding how to make decisions with different people according to their energy versus their words and versus their emails and versus their proposals. And when I started learning about energy, that changed my whole vibration. And I started understanding from low chakra energy to high chakra energy from people. And then I started putting that skill set into leaders that we were listening to. And at that time, we had Obama here. And I started saying, listen, this guy speaks extremely well. This guy can manipulate a whole slew of people. He has everybody on hope. And at that time in martial arts, my trainer was telling me, we don't hope for nothing. We don't hope for shit. Hope is for the weak. We make shit happen. And then you got your president saying, yes, we can. Yes, we can. You remember that mantra? Yes, we can. And everybody started hoping for change. Everybody started hoping for change. And then he got up there and he spoke to everybody and he says, we're going to allow gay marriages. We're going to allow sexualizing your kids in school. And then he just started all of this weird shit. And everybody was like, yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And I said, that's what it is. When people start speaking from high energy vibrations with low vibration intentions. And that's where the world is so corrupt. And I go, man, everybody knows our government is evil. Everybody knows the government is evil. It's not new. What baffles me is that people still comply to it. And as a fighter and as an individual, as a warrior of God, I said, man, I have to protect the children. So we have to plant the proper seeds in the ear. And
Go
once
back
you
to
start,
Go back to the energy thing for a minute. Tell me about energy. Like, how does someone go from, being an American kid, basketball, having fun, whatever you did as a young man, I'm assuming the stuff that all of us did, chase girls, work out. How do you, why aren't you like, oh, this energy shit is mumbo jumbo?
Well, for the simple fact, it was like, because you become like, you can ignore something for so long, but then when it's like a part of you, like, because that's what we are. We're energy, we're frequency. And when I would go into a room, people would say, man, he lights that room up. Man, this guy lights that room up. And they would say this from a kid, but I never really truly kind of understood it. And then when I started like being approached by colleges and stuff like that, then I knew, like, everybody wanted me. Everybody wanted me to be that guy. Everybody wanted me to lift the team up. So no matter what team I was on, whether we were like 1-27, they were saying, Martin, I need you to pick the guys up. I need you to lead the prayer in the locker room. I need you to motivate the guys. The guys are down right now. So I want you to come and practice. I won't even show up because everybody's mad at me. So everybody always wanted me to be that little light, you know?
Yeah.
So
and it's obvious on your Instagram, by the way. You have an amazing smile. And even when shit's like hopeless, you're like talking to the people like, it's good. You're still centered in you.
Oh yeah, facts.
Even when you're saying the worst shit ever, it's still you. You don't get all crazy.
I don't get all crazy, man. And that's where when I started thinking like, oh man, like why is that light in me? You know,
Mm-hmm.
what is the difference between me and him? You start questioning that. And I realized it's God. God is in all of us. And for those who have a true relationship and a true like understanding that, man, he is within us. I don't look outside for nothing. Everything that I need to indulge in, I need to create or manifest, the miracle starts right there.
Oh man.
You see? And so when I started understanding energy, I started understanding like, man, every decision that most people like conjure up in their brains, they're not even manifesting, like, not necessarily manifest. They're not even understanding that in itself is a miracle, because that comes from like energy, frequency, things firing off in your brain. And then we're talking naturally. Like We have had no conversation. This is a freestyle conversation for the audience. Like, and we're like, you're asking questions, and we're going back and forth. That's energy. Now you could ask me something that could ruffle my feathers, and then the energy shifts, you see?
Yeah.
But for me, I go by being an energy guy. I never give anyone, not even my wife, not even my kids, not my business partners, nobody. I never give them access to change my energy, you see? So I'm always
consciously you don't allow that?
I never allow it. I never allow it. I can get upset. I have things that bother me. I'm human. But at the end of the day, like I'm always like this. I'm always like this for the simple fact, people are watching, children are watching. And this is where you learn. You learn from revelations. You understand? Like I always tell people, like people are scared of revelation. That's how you learn. Like God reveals your true purpose through revelations. And people are thinking revelations from the Bible. Even the Bible is manipulated. So I'm not talking about that revelation. I'm talking about my individual journey as revelations. You know, I made some shitty decisions in my life that put me in shitty situations. And it was my revelation of learning and bettering myself, not to put myself in that situation again.
What is that word? What does that word mean? Revelation.
I would even break it down to like your story, you know, like most people experience, like I would say it was even experience, you know.
Yeah, it says a surprising and previously unknown fact, especially one that is made known in a dramatic way. The divine or supernatural disclosure to humans of something relating to. So it's for you. It's something like trial and error.
Facts. It's just like that, and it's also having a proper risk factor. Like a lot of people don't understand. If you don't understand risk management, this is why most people are not even having an eye or ear to like digital currency. They don't have any knowledge of risk management or hour time, like value. Like so many people are lost in the sauce when it comes to that. And I go, when you understand your own risk management, you're not going to put yourself in a situation like I understand risk management. So I won't be out there trying to sell drugs and talk shit about someone who is working at McDonald's when the guy is working at McDonald's will be in the end of the time more profitable.
Yeah. Risk assessment too, right? Risk management and risk assessment.
Yes. And so many people are so like again, they learn from the streets. They learn from bad individuals. I would always say, when you learn from men who have not evolved themselves, then your evolvement revolves around what they show you, you know? And so me being overseas, it would immediately allow me to see different men and how they act and how they were raised. And like when I went to India, I was shocked to see 22-year-old businessmen with family. Here, at 20, I had already had a kid. You imagine that. At 20, my son is 22 and I'm 43.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're doing business together right now. So imagine that, you know? So it's like a lot of people. So I was forced to become a father, like super quick, forced to like not be in the clubs, not be doing all of the BS and just always trying to better myself because they were always watching, you know?
Are you shadow banned?
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Okay.
Always.
I'm going to change your name here. What's your Instagram account at?
Mr. Holistic.
Okay. And no 88888, right?
No. That's my 888. I have 8s on my wrist, you see, like that.
How's that? Is that right? So if you want to find this guy, by the way, I had to go yesterday when I was digging through his Instagram account. I couldn't find him on my computer, no matter how much Google search I used. So then I had to go back to my phone, find him on my phone, and then text it to my computer to pull it up. Like I'm shadow banned. And by the way, no one text me or DM me and say, you're not shadow banned, you just have restrictions. It's all the same shit to me. Like, fuck off. Just shut up.
Yeah, that's
I like when people are like, you're not shadow banned anymore. I found you. It's like, dude, it's revolving. They let in just they just let in a few people at a time.
I call it the Davy Jones censor locker.
Why is that?
Because you know how in the Pirates were like, I'm going to throw you in Davy Jones locker, you know? So I go, for the people who are speaking the truth, they throw us all down in the censorship locker.
Why don't they just kick us off? What are they waiting for?
This is what I said. Just throw me off. Like, why are you even tiptoeing? Like, you know, I'm not going to stop my language. You know, I'm not going to stop saying what I'm saying. Because
why don't you just kick us off? I don't
just
get it.
kick me off. And this is what I always say is like,
I mean, I don't want to be kicked off. Don't get me wrong, but it makes no sense. Like,
it makes no sense. It makes no sense. I remember I got on TikTok. I have over 179,000 followers on TikTok, all organic. I've never paid social media anything. Everything is organic. So imagine I get on TikTok.
You are a fucking moron if you pay someone to get you followers on social media.
Exactly.
By the way.
I think that's
that is
so
fucking
stupid.
insanity.
It's insane. So imagine TikTok reaches out to me. Oh, we love your content. As a platform, we're looking for more adult content because nothing but children were like dancing on there at first. So they started promoting like Mr. Holistic. We need to listen to, and they started making me go viral on TikTok. And then when I started going against their narrative and they started saying, listen, you're a community guideline, you're a walking community guideline violation. And I'm like, how is that even possible when you got 16-year-old girls shaking their ass on here? And I'm sitting here saying, listen, whether you're Democrat or whether you're Republican, at the end of the day, there's some shit that is about to happen. That is some real revelations going to come to everyone. And I go, and it depends on what level you're on how you're going to be affected by it. And no one understood that. And then the pandemic hit. And then I said, imagine now, your title does not matter anymore because everybody is at home. Now it matters. Where's the willpower and the spiritual, because it's a spiritual war at this point. Who is going to stop and who is going to keep going? So
when you say it's a spiritual war, what do you mean by that?
When in the sense of a spiritual war, because they want to break your willpower, you know? And so like when you start looking at the big fight between like devil and God, it's always to take the will, like the willpower away from the people. Because they don't want to give you that free will. They don't want to give you free choice. They want to manipulate you at this point. And when now as us, as like free thinkers and truth seekers, we're like the bad guys. Right. And I go, how could we just sit here and speak the truth? And if you sit on here and you go with the lies, you're a good guy.
Right.
And so I go, I can literally be an algorithm whore right now. I can be an algorithm whore and start saying, oh my God, Trump 2024, Trump Truth Circle. Everybody go to Trump Truth Circle. Everybody go to here. Everybody go there. And then I'll start going viral again. You just start talking Donald Trump, you'll go viral. If you start talking bad about Donald Trump, you'll go viral. But if you start talking about Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum, you start talking about the laws, you start talking about what's popping off right here, right now, oh, they censor that. Oh, but if you get on here and you start telling black people, yo, we are oppressed. The white man is always keeping us down. They're not a part of us. We should be killing them. They have enslaved us. Bro, you go viral times steroids on steroids.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how they and I
they're rewarding those people. They're rewarding those people that push their agenda.
Fact. So imagine this.
Who is they? And when I say they, who am I referring to?
I would even say like big tech. You got big tech, big pharma. For an example, I smoke marijuana and people say, man, when are you going to stop smoking those drugs as they take like 12 pills? Like, bro, I'm on medicine. You're taking drugs. And
you don't seem like a guy that smokes weed. You don't seem like a guy that smokes weed.
Well, yeah, I love marijuana, bro. I love it. For the simple fact, I always tell people, and I don't do it publicly. I only do it in my home. So most people who know me, they have never even seen me smoke. They just know I'm an advocate of it. And I always tell people, like,
by the way, I think that's cool. I think that's cool.
Yeah,
I don't think that some people might be that's fake. There's shit that I do. I tell people don't ever eat added sugar or refined carbohydrates, that it is fucking the death of you. But if I'm at a birthday party and I eat a piece of cake, I would never post it. I'm not like, hey guys, I'm cheating. No, I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
Just know that I'm not perfect. I do cheat.
Exactly.
But I'm not showing you that shit because I'm trying to be a good role model. I'm not trying to be fake.
Exactly, I'm just trying to be a good role model. Man, everybody has their flaws, and and I don't say marijuana is a flaw, but this is just something I like to do. But you can't just go out and just start saying, "Oh man, I'm not Snoop Dogg. I'm not Wiz Khalifa. I'm not trying to like promote that image. This is just what I do. You don't have to do it. I like cigars also. I don't like cigarettes. I hate tobacco, but I'll smoke me a cigar on some good company. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not. You're not going to see me on Instagram like doing that. Like, you know, so on my lives, I have like these waking bake sessions, but these sessions are when I'm just going, well, you know what? I'm shadow banned anyway. I'm sitting outside. Let me cut my phone off and give some people some juice, you know? And so when I do things like that, this is just me just being organic. But when you start talking about what I want my kids to see, what I want other children to see. I want them to understand, like, man, don't be scared to speak the truth. Like, don't be scared to speak the truth. And you have so many people right now that are creating lies just to hide the truth because they like, you know what, I don't know what people are going to say or what they're going to think, how they're going to feel. Who cares? We are God's. Like, God is in us. Speak your truth because only the truth will set us free. And you got so many people lying. You got
there's this guy the other day. I was talking about him. His name is Raw of Earth. He's on Instagram, and he was talking basically that God is in us, and that if you want to experience that, take 100%. Well, he actually took it a step further. He said you are God, and he said, and if you want to experience that, you have to take all personal responsibility and accountability for everything that's happening in your life, everything. And you know, some people were offended by it, and I'm like, hey man, you don't have to be offended. You can try the experiment. And it's amazing how everything you say comes back to you.
Yeah. I tell people when how you ask me that question, like, how did you realize like energy was a thing and you didn't just brush it off? I had a conversation in the mirror. And in that reflection, I said, man, I don't like it. And I look good. Imagine. And I didn't like what I was seeing. I didn't like the direction I was in. I had women in all other countries. My kids, I was barely in contact with them, but I'm financially blessing them just because I'm overseas and I'm not there. So I feel like, oh, I can do whatever the hell I want to do over here. And then I go back home, oh, I'm like a father, or I'm this, I'm a good son. And that's not the image for sure that I want to like live, because you're living like separate personalities at that point. And when you start creating these different personalities, it comes with different characters. And each character's demand like consistency. And when you're with this girl, you have to be this character. You over here in this girl, you got to be this character. You over here at home, you have to be this character. And I just got tired of playing character after character. It's like movie roles. And I said, you know what? This is me. This is who I am. This is what I'm going to stand on. And if people don't like it, you have to accept that not everybody's going to like what you got going on. Not everybody's going to like how you feel, how you think, how you move, how you dress. But you got to say fuck them and just keep moving forward. Like, why stop? Why try to explain? Why try to like go outside of your character, your individual character that God has created within us, when you're just being you to please other people?
You were saying that you basically stay on this straight and narrow, right? You stay who you are, and you don't let other people get in there and manipulate or alter your way. For me, the way I do that is I create space. I really, basically, life is just one. Like when people say I meditated today, I believe that you should be meditating 24 hours a day. There should be never a moment that you're not watching your brain like it's a dangerous cobra inside your mind.
Oh, I love it. I love that.
Right. You're trapped in a room with the cobra. Don't take your fucking eyes off of it. And so thoughts or bodily sensations arise, and you decide whether you want to address them. I have an itch on my shoulder. I shouldn't itch it automatically. The practice of cultivating awareness is to feel the itch, observe it, maybe let it go, maybe itch it. But either way, be aware. And same with thoughts. You know, someone flips you off when they drive by. Your first instinct is to mirror them and flip them off. You let some time pass and you wave, and instead of flip them off, you make the next choice.
Yes.
How do you do it? Is it the same for all of us humans? That's what you're doing. You're constantly trying to create space between Martin, the warrior of God, and this mind that some people confuses themselves. Is that what you're?
You hit it on the nail, bro. I just gave a big lecture on the accountability of awareness. And I think so many people are so unaware because of the cell phones.
Okay.
So many people are lost in the sauce, and they walk with their hands down. They're walking like with their eyes into their phone, and they're not aware of their surroundings anymore. So when something kind of like pops up, or a driver pulls out in front of them, and then that guy flips you off, and then you immediately mirror that.
Right.
Because now you have lost track. And this is when I always tell people, I said this just the other day, be willing to stand 24 hours a day by your ears to play security for your brain.
Oh, say that one more time. That is so good.
Be willing to be security up to your ears to protect your brain for 24 hours a day. People are allowing whatever to go inside their ears, and they don't understand. There's a major
and whatever come out of their fucking mouth,
bro. I'm telling you, and there's some accountabilities to that. And so when you start going like, bro, I'm still walking a narrow path, but I will whoop your ass. Like I would beat the brakes off you for just disrespecting me. And I don't care about going to jail either. I'll go to jail, I'll bond out because I know the system. I'll be out in 2 hours. When you just start talking raw. And then when you go, but that is not my energy. I don't want to drop my energy level down to physically harm someone because they just losing their tongue.
Right.
So what I like to do, I go, you're going to be accountable for that. You're going to be accountable for that versus me even making sure that you're accountable. One day you're going to slip at that tongue again and someone is going to cut that off.
Yeah.
Someone is going to cut that off. And people are not realizing when you allow your mind to just roam free and you allow whatever to be fed into it, your energy and everything is going to mirror that. And I'll tell you another thing to the people who are listening. Everybody must understand that your brain is not your mind. And a lot of people fail to realize that the brain is in charge of sending signals, allowing my hands to move the way my hands move and feeling things and giving messages. That is not your mind. Your mind is the spirit. The mind is the glow. The mind is the consciousness. And that's the beauty about human nature, that we have the ability to change our trajectory at a drop of a dime. We can be going down the shithole world and just go, you know what? I don't like which way I'm going. Let me just go this way. And your whole life can change just from understanding and developing your mind. And so most people are so stuck in feeding their brain what is on their TV, what is in their cell phone, what their friends are saying. And then when you look at your friends, you go, man, they're not really doing anything. And like the old man would say, if you're the smartest person in the room, find another room. And then when you keep going to other rooms and you're still the smartest person in the room, you start thinking like I used to think, man, fuck it, I'll just create my own room.
Yeah.
And then you end up sitting there going, well, man, I'm in my room by myself. Oh, nobody likes me. Oh, maybe I'm the bad, maybe I'm the weird one. And then you start realizing, no, God has put you in a place to now you can self-reflect, because being alone allows you to self-develop. And when you start learning and truly who you truly are, nothing can affect that. And now everything starts being in line with your blessings. And a lot of people are staying at this level right here, Sevan, and they're asking for blessings right here. And they have not developed a character to be right here to receive those blessings. So as an athlete, as a basketball player, I could openly say my talents took me to a place where my character was not developed to stay. And this is why I can openly say, man, I had great opportunities. I saw so much as a basketball player, but I was very unsuccessful. You see, I never got to play. When I was with the Atlanta Hawks, imagine this, for 3 years as a practice player. As a practice player on 10-day contracts, every 5-6 days, some guy coming down from upstairs telling me, "Oh, you're not good enough. I don't think this is going to be your week. I don't think we're going to sign you this week, but we like your energy. We like what you bring to the table. You're always on time. Your percentages are good. Your skill sets are good. Man, just hang in there. We're going to give you that call." And 3 years later, I just asked, I'm like, "Bro, are y'all ever going to give me a shot?" And he says, "Well, we will." And soon as I go back downstairs, I have a pink slip in my locker.
You got cut. You got cut.
I got cut for asking. And before that, I never asked. Why you not signing me? Why you're not giving me an opportunity? Why are you using me? I never asked. And when the minute I opened my mouth, everything was snatched away. And I was like back in Arkansas. And I'm like, what the hell? And that's what got me into the fighting, because I was angry, and I was just like, I wasn't successful anyway. And when I started reflecting and I started developing, even as a martial artist, it started calming me down, because I started understanding energy, like meditation, like breath work and stuff like this, calmness. And when that calmness starts taking over your body, you can start making proper decisions. And a lot of people's mind it's so clouded with bullshit judgment, misinformation, horrible careers. The corporate world is just killing people's souls. And then they come home and they bring that same energy home. And now they're yelling at their children, they're yelling at their husband, they're yelling at their moms, they're yelling at their siblings, everything at this point. And they're just losing control. So it's like people have made bipolar even like a joke at this point. Like, oh, I'm bipolar, it's okay. Like, no, motherfucker, it's not okay.
It's not okay. Or I like when people say, "Oh yeah, I was diagnosed with ADHD." Everyone wants to say they have ADHD, and it's crazy to me.
It's like they just create all of these things, and then they go, because the doctor said it, And it's like, you can even go back to the energy of people saying, I love my doctor, but I fear God. And I'm going, why would you fear someone who gave you everything that you need, everything that is inside of you, all the treasure he put inside of you? Why would you fear that? You should be loving that.
Isn't that what the Bible says, to fear God?
But again, I always tell people that book has been manipulated so many times.
Right.
So it's a great book. I love the book, and I don't shit on nobody who is a Bible thumper. But at the same time, there's questions that need to be answered on why did you tamper with the book?
Yeah.
Why did you tamper with it? And if you tamper with it for a reason.
Hey, do you think why don't people who've made it to the top tell everyone, hey, I did this through hard work, quit being a pussy and feeling sorry for yourself? Why are there people like Oprah and LeBron and The Rock allowing the victim mindset to grow? Why would they feed that from the top? Like, those people we know had to work their ass off to get where they got. Those fuckers didn't have shit given to them. Why don't they just say that? Why don't they take the David Goggins route? Like, fuck you, bitch, work.
Yeah. No, they won't do it because they're paid.
Why not?
Because they're paid. They're getting paid, and they're scripted individuals.
But can't we still pay them? And
this is what I said. I go, man, I was so disappointed when
I want them to be rich as fuck. I'm stoked for them.
I'm so happy for those blessings. But then I go, like, for an example, like a LeBron James. I said, man, this guy has so much like opportunity to set people's minds free.
Yeah.
Let's talk color. LeBron James can change so many young black men's mindset on how they feel about the system, how they feel about white people, how they feel about the corporation.
Yeah, set them free. He can set them free.
He can literally set them free just by saying, yo, bro, I work my ass off and I deal with shit on a daily basis. But man, I just let that shit go in one ear and not the other. And I stay focused on my dreams, my visions, my affirmations, and what I want to attract for my family. If they speak like that, they would have true following.
Yes.
But
they would have true positive impact. It's like you said, they would set people free from their jail that they've built of this victim identity.
Yeah. And you can, I always say, like, they say never, but I'm going, why would you not say never have a victimized mindset? Like who is victimizing you? Like, who is, like, victims always lose. Like, you're a victim. Like, I don't understand. I always tell people, like, why are you speaking that language? Like no one is oppressing you. No one is like, who do you think is your oppressor?
Thank you.
This is what my question was to a lot. Cause I remember when the Trump shit, like was just first, like, brewing, and like everybody was hating and calling him a racist. So I went to the hood, I just went to the hood. I went to the streets. I play basketball, so I can play in the streets. I can play in the community center. So I went to the most ghettoest places in Vegas. And imagine, I was like the only black conservative in liberal as Las Vegas in 2016, 2017. And I was going to the most ghettoest communities with my Make America Great hat on. And people were just like ready to fight, ready to shoot. And I'm going, bro, we can do that too. But where is it going to lead? Why does this hat trigger you to the point, for the simple fact only individuals get triggered? Because I know energy is because of lack of knowledge, lack of understanding.
Yeah.
And so now you have seeked something and you have validated that, and it's not enough. So therefore you're ready to fight. You're ready to be physical.
Yeah.
I'm well equipped in that too. So that would be a very big disappointment for you. So let's have a conversation. And then I start talking to people, bro, and you will be amazed how people started understanding, like, really? Oh, I didn't know that. And I'm like, yeah. You think I'm just sitting here, like, just jumping on some Trump train? I can give two shits about Donald Trump and all of that hype. To me, Trump is a product. He is a product, and it shows that America will always buy products like food. The food here in America is not food. It's products. It's
do you think which culture do you think is the best critical thinkers inherently? Like, do you think that black culture, if there is such a thing, and if there's not, I'm willing to push back, or do you think like Jew culture, or do you think like Puerto Rican culture? Do you have any thoughts on which ethnicities? I like to think of people by their culture rather than their color.
For sure. I would say the Indian culture is probably the most underestimated.
For sure. For
the simple fact, they go for spiritual enlightenment first. And then,
but they're also easily manipulated by the West. They're still like, they're crazy. Okay, I feel like that they crave too.
That's the masses. The masses are very easy manipulated. You can poke them with a stick.
It's a crazy materialistic culture, which is kind of trippy to say about one of the poorest places you could ever be.
100%. But when you start talking about just because again, I live there. So when you start talking about like the individuals who are on top versus the individuals who are on the street, the guys who are on the street understand that this is where they are. My father served tea. My grandfather served tea. I'm going to serve tea. So that kid is happy serving tea.
Yeah.
You can see a guy in India with a Bentley running an IT firm and sitting there on the street with a guy serving tea, and they have the same face. They have the same energy because they're both happy with exactly where they are. And that's also like a handicap because in America, we're always wanting more. I want bigger, bigger, better and stuff like that. But when you start talking about being happy with who you are, where you are, and then getting the best out of those moments, like that is like I think like the end game.
Yeah.
That's the end game, you know. So people in India, they're starting with the end game first, and then they're grabbing all the materializations for them, buying cars, buying houses, traveling, seeing the world, and doing all of those other things. But at the end of the day, their natural foundation, they're already at the end game. And this is why you see this energy right here.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, sir, please, no. No, Baba, no.
God,
no.
I wish I didn't have to fly to India. I would love to take my kids there and walk around barefoot and live on the streets for a few months. Damn, I loved it.
Happened, bro.
I loved India.
I didn't take my kids, but I took my shoes off. Imagine. I
went barefoot there too. Fuck that. I ain't wearing shoes there.
Oh man, I said no way. I remember when I got there, I had some Gucci shoes on, and the guy says, "Sir, I like those Guess shoes." I said, what? I said, that's not Guess.
Do you think you could, this is such a broad question. So do you think you could walk onto a basketball court in Oakland, California and explain to 5 black men, 10 black men, unfuck their thinking? Or do you think you could walk onto campus at UC Berkeley and unfuck 10 soy boys, chubby fucking estrogen filled white kids? I don't even know if there are white kids at UC Berkeley anymore. They might just be Asian, but and I ain't hating. But which do you think we can stereotype? I just feel like black people are, because of their upbringing, because of that culture, that they're better critical thinkers. They're
way better critical thinkers because you got to understand.
There's a survival instinct in them, kind of like West Virginia white people. These motherfuckers know how to survive.
They know how to survive.
They got good critical thinking skills. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So when you take like the old, now the youth is no different. Like there's no more culture. It's just viral movement. So black, white, Asian, they're all the same.
No more culture, just viral movements.
Yeah, it's just viral movements now. So you can look at black people and white kids, they're all doing the same thing. You got white kids walking with their pants down their ass with big gold chains on. You got black people doing it. You got Asians doing it. You got everybody doing that shit. So it's like when you start talking about that survival instinct, it's damn near stopping at my generation, the 70s and 80s. When you get to the 95s and the 2000s, like these kids are something different.
Yeah, even cell like phones have made the hardest kids pussies.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, man. Because imagine, to answer even that question, I would for sure go to the hood, to the court, and speak to the 5 black guys. Because those 5 black guys, I can manipulate and plant the seed with them. They will go back and tell 3 other black guys. And now you take those 5, and now you got 12. And now you got 12, and then you got 24. You see? And now you're changing the game just in that little arena. And most people try to hit the masses. And I go, this is where you're wrong. We have to stop talking to the people who are not listening. We talk to the people who listen, and then you gauge the results. And when you gauge the results, you get data. And when you get data, now you can assess. And when you can assess, you can make a decision. When you can make a decision, now you can be financial beneficial. You see? Because now you can put people together and you say, okay, now we're going to make this movement for the children. We're going to put up a gym over here. Why do we need to keep going over to this gym and paying these people $5, $25 to get in this gym when every nigga in the hood selling dope got money? Why we just don't build our own shit? Imagine LeBron, Russell Westbrook, Dwayne Wade. They're going to people's facilities. Why does they not have their own gym for everybody to come and home in on their skills, even during the pandemic?
Right.
Like little decisions like that, I go, man, people are so used to just saying, okay, this is what I'm able to do. They're just like always putting themselves in a position to be told no. And I'm going, why would you put yourself in a position to be told no when you can't accept no? So many people.
Yeah, this is what you started the show with too. Do your yeah. Man, you have a great theme here.
I love it, man. This is a great conversation, bro. It's a great conversation.
How did you end up in Florida?
So I'll tell you that. So I have businesses in Vegas. And so I was in Daytona Bike Week when I do rallies. So I do a whole bunch of rallies with Harley Davidsons with my company. So I was in Daytona Bike Week 2 years ago. And
Daytona is a city in Florida for people who
don't know.
Okay,
it's a city in Florida. It's like an hour from Orlando. And so I was there when people started saying, oh, the Chinese people are eating bats and they're passing out. And I said, oh, I read some shit like this. They're going to lock the world down. And then people started saying, oh, here you go again, Mr. Holistic, talking that conspiracy shit. So then I started saying, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a conspiracy therapist. Because when people started talking about the conspiracies, people were just like, man, I'm losing my friends. I can't even go to my church anymore. My mother's not talking to me. I'm like, bro, you have to be a conspiracy therapist. You can't just start throwing out all these wild ass shit and thinking people are just going to accept it. People don't want to, they'll play security to that shit. You see what I mean? And so when I started being in Daytona and they started all of the pandemic shit, I was almost 4 or 5 months ahead of the first lockdowns in March 2000, in March of 2 years ago in 2019 or 2020. So when it happened, I said, oh, they're going to fuck the strip up. They're going to shut these casinos down. And they're going to really show people that you have no value. And then people say, what do you mean by that? And the very next day, Sevan, they came out with the essential and non-essential. You remember that shit?
Yeah.
And I said, I told you motherfuckers, I told y'all, can't nobody tell me I'm not essential. I'm God. I'm godly. Yeah. Like I have God inside me. Like, how you going to tell me that we're not essential anymore? Because you deem Walmart essential. You deem essential. You deem a strip club essential. No. I'm way more essential than those motherfuckers because I'm not drinking like that. I don't fucking go to.
So we elect dumb people. We elect ungodly people. Hey, you know how sorry to interrupt, Martin. You know how the Pope. And maybe I got this all fucked up, but like if you want to be the Pope, they won't choose you. You know how they go into a cave and they all sit in there for like a week or some shit, and it's like whoever's like the most humble and doesn't want to do the job, they pick that dude, and then they build a fire and smoke comes out and they pick the next pope or whatever, how that works. So basically everyone who runs for office is a piece of shit. I mean, I know that's pretty broad sweeping generalization, but we have low vibrational people, to use your term, running for office. We don't have anyone who's thinking clearly or going to stand up for us.
This is always the issues. And you know what's so funny? When I see
we need Gandhi. We need a guy in a robe who's willing to like not wear anything except a fucking banana hammock and sleep in a tent in the front lawn of the White House. And he needs to be completely transparent. It needs to be a tent, but like we can see in it. He needs to be like, hey, I'm nothing.
I'm nothing, man.
Nothing.
You know what I tell people? It's so crazy that
I know it sounds crazy, but I'm not even joking. That's what we need.
No, it's dead ass. I'm like with you on this shit because it's like you'll see the politicians. Like there's politicians who are preachers, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like you can't be both of them. And they say, well, yes, you can. You can be whatever you want. I said, bro, if you're talking about being the beacon of light to enter the stairway to heaven, that's what preachers are for. Spread the knowledge of God, speak the truth, and enlighten people on the spiritual journey to get them close to the pearly gates. Like this is what preachers are doing. So how could you immediately go there on Sunday and then Monday through Saturday you're dealing with dirty politics, and you're voting and like literally for some of the most craziest ungodly policies towards children. You're not a messenger of God. You have been bought by men. And this is what I tell people about politics. I said the only reason why I really truly liked it, Donald Trump, is that he didn't accept nobody's money until Big Pharma came around. When Pfizer came around, that's when this guy made the deals for the warp speed. He made the deals then. And then I said, the minute you do a deal with the devil, you're no longer godly. You're not godly, especially if you're dealing with God people. You're dealing with the children of God. You're dealing with the innocent. I'm personally okay. Like, I can look at policies and I can move my energy over here and I can evolve, because I'll read the policy. I'll find the loophole in the policy. I don't mind riding a loophole. I don't mind it. But you're not going to have me drop my vibration, become a victim, stand in line, have my whole DNA structure change, just because you want to say, I want to protect the people now, when you're standing in front of me super unhealthy.
I can't even relate kind of to anyone who got the injection. I can't understand it.
Me neither.
I want to understand it. I want to have like empathy and compassion. I'm just so
you probably hear my baby in the background. She's talking to angels in the door right now.
Yeah, I hear it going off. It's fine. I guess I don't. There's just so many excuses that people have. When just now when you were talking, I was like, holy shit! Like I feel like talking to you. I've really climbed up on my fucking ladder that's sitting on the back of a horse now. You know what I mean? Like I'm so fucking like uppity. And pretentious and like all knowing, but even looking at our schools, what they feed our kids, how can you allow anyone to feed your kids what they feed your kids in school? It's just it's mind boggling. It's like, you know what? People are just completely throw their hands up in there. Oh, there's nothing I can do. I have to go to work, and that's the shit they're going to feed them.
And see, and this is the accountability. This goes back to where we started in the beginning, having the conversation in the mirror, accepting that the simple fact that the journey, the trail that you're going to blaze for your children is way more, it should be way more prioritized than you going and clocking into that 9 to 5. And people right here, right now, 100% throw their kids into the most shitty, like toxic, unorganic situations and expecting them kids to come out organically educated. You can't put your seed, you can't take an organic plant, plant it into soil, which is horrible soil, next to toxic plants, and think you're still going to get an organic plant. It doesn't work that way. So me as an organic individual, my daughter is unvaccinated from she has nothing. None of it. I didn't play with none of it. I said, listen, if you guys are going to require Rona vaccines for school, she'll never get that. So therefore, she'll never go to school. So therefore, if she's never going to go to school, I don't want bullshit vaccines that you guys are trying to give her to to get into a daycare. Like, fuck it.
Yeah.
None of that is going to happen on my watch.
Yeah.
So as a father, I go, there's decisions that I just made that I have to financially back them. So I need to be able to pay for organic babysitting. I need to be
or take your kid fucking everywhere with you. This friend of mine who lives
everywhere, bro.
Yeah,
this is the decision I made.
This friend of mine who's rich as fuck, who gets everything delivered to his house. Awesome dude. He basically said that the lady like whatever one of those services are where you just have people deliver food and whatever you want to your store, like those apps. He says the lady that they got who does that through the app, she takes her kid everywhere. She got her baby everywhere with her.
Yeah.
It's a new mom, and just like, fuck it, I'm gonna hustle. It reminds me of like how my parents rocked it, just hardcore immigrant shit.
Yeah, bro. It's like people
strap that fucking kid on you and roll, or don't have a fucking kid,
bro. Exactly. If you feel like you got people right now okaying and voting to abort babies after 28 days after they're born, how about we take your ass out? Like, if you're a mother and you don't want your kid after having that kid, how about you go? How about that?
Do you know who Elliot Holst is?
No.
He's in Florida. Elliot Holst. You got to look him up.
I'll look him up. Elliot Holst.
Elliot Holst. He's a Belizean guy. He exploded on YouTube in 2007. Put on 1 million subscribers like fucking back in the day. He's a fitness dude, and now he's just a full blown, just God freak, but in a good way.
Yeah.
I don't say that with any direct. But he's in your hood. He's somewhere in. He's somewhere in Florida. I had him on the show the other day.
Nice. I'll check him out.
Yeah, he's cool as shit. Hey, I want to dip into the weeds a second and see if I can handle it.
All right, let's go.
Bob Saget.
Bob Saget.
So
you know, there's so many stories about this guy right now. Did you know he was in? Here's a conspiracy therapist for the watchers.
okay.
A lot of
For
people
those of
don't.
you guys who don't know, Bob Saget was found dead in a hotel room. He's a famous comedian from back in the day. Maybe even I'm 50, maybe even before my time. But maybe he had some TV shows I didn't watch. What was he had a famous TV show?
The home,
right?
the what was that home something?
With the Allen guy too, isn't it too?
Yeah. Home
Okay.
improvement, not home
Okay,
improvement.
yeah, I didn't watch that show, but it was
Funny as
huge when
home
we were kids.
videos. Funny as home videos.
Yes.
That's what he's known for. So a lot of people don't understand that he was found dead in his hotel, but he was found dead with a broken eye socket and a smashed bottom of it. He had his bottom of his skull was smashed. Full house. Yes. Good job, Brandon. I see that. So people don't explain why did they say, oh, he died of a heart attack. Oh, he was triple vaccinated. Oh, they started making up all these excuses. So the true story from the police, in the police world, because I got a lot of police officers as friends and lieutenants and stuff like that. They say he was hunting for a pet, like for a child. He was searching for a child, and he was made arrangement for I think a 13 or 14-year-old girl to show up to his hotel, and the father showed up.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So they say the father showed up, beat his ass, bashed him up because the floor was carpet. They said he fell and then he got into bed. This is what they say. This is proven record. Bob Saget fell, looks like he fell, hit his head on something, went to bed, and died in his sleep. This is exactly what they say.
Okay.
So if he hit his head or hit something, it doesn't explain the broken eye socket.
Right.
So I go, when you start looking at Bob Saget.
Well, what if he fell on his face? What if he fell? What if he was drunk and he fell and hit the edge of a porcelain bathtub on his front of his head?
I go, I get that. Then what is up with the back of the skull? Someone's hit him with something.
All right, word.
You see what I'm saying? To me, I go, he opened the door, someone, boom, and then he went in there, boom, and then they walked out.
Okay.
Like it could be easy. This is how I personally, in my opinion, I think something like that could have just naturally happened. But for me, at the end of the day, I go, when you look at all of these Hollywood weirdos, they all are so satanic. But you see what I'm saying? Because they all bow to the same people.
Yeah, it's so hard for me to get my head wrapped around it, except if I go back to the fact of what you say about energy. Maybe they're just all attracted to the same, right? You know what I mean? I turn on a blue light over here, these bugs come. I turn on a red light here, these bugs come, these insects come. I have no light over here.
Energy, bro. It's that satanic Babylon. I want to be famous. And imagine when you look at those.
I'm just struggling with that word. Martin, satanic, because I don't believe in that.
No. I can understand.
You know what I mean? I'm struggling with that word. But I want to follow you. But as soon as I hear that word, it's like I'm like a libtard that hears Trump. You know what I mean? I'm just
no. I understand that. What I personally mean by like satanic, I mean they're just suckers for materialistic things. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I like it. Thank you for translating for me. Thank you.
This is exactly what I mean by that. Because for me, it's like the devil will always tempt you. And I don't mean like the devil with the red horns. I just mean dark energy.
Okay.
You see, I mean, when you start talking about being narrow, being focused, being enlightenment, always being happy, there's always someone going to try to ruin that. Why?
For sure.
This is they want misery loves company. You see?
Yep. Yeah, it does.
So when you have someone, when you look at them in the mirror, they don't look like a Hollywood superstar, but all they want to do is be a superstar. And now you got this individual who is preying on individuals. He's a predator to individuals. And now he sees those weaker individuals and he grooms them. Everybody that's mostly in Hollywood has been groomed, like The Rock, Stevie Wonder, like all of these guys, like these mainstream music, from music to theater to whatever genre you want to come in. If it's coming out of Los Angeles or New York, it's literally like manipulated individuals who are just doing things for fame. Because I go, how could I put on a comedy show? And
because that's the metric for success. It's not even their fault. That's the metric for success. Okay.
Yes.
By not their fault, I mean that they're right. That's why. Okay, I get it. I get it.
Now you understand what I mean by that?
Tupac, fuck the fame. All I want's the money.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Hey, I'm gonna make a quick change of direction here. you are
Get it right. Get it right.
yeah, you are so attractive. You are such a force of like a sunset. Do you know what I mean?
Appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Like people just turn their head and look at that shit and be like, wow. And it is a tremendous, I say it because, yeah, man, God, I hope you fucking get,
That's that energy, bro.
we need people like you in the fucking limelight. We need fucking kids and everyone to see that you're not doing anything to be attractive except what the sunset does. You're just doing you.
It just comes up, goes down, bro.
Yeah. It's so great who you are. It almost doesn't even matter what comes out of your mouth. It's crazy. I mean, I know you use that to maintain your vibration. Obviously it's your musical instrument.
Yes.
It's your surfboard.
I love it.
Man, you're cool as shit.
I go, man. I try to ride the wave of just being free. Like a lot of people don't understand what free really is. And I go, man, I'm free as fuck, man. Like no one can pay me, no one can offer me anything because I'm not seeking anything. All I'm seeking for is being better who I was yesterday.
Does it scare your wife or your friends how free you are? Like you're almost.
Oh hell yeah! Like
it can be dangerous.
I don't think it scares them, but it's like they just label me as, man, this guy's fucking crazy. Like this guy's crazy, and I'm going, yes, I am, but I'm crazy and I'm free. Like you're not just gonna come and just manipulate me and persuade me, and I'm cold blooded at that too. So I don't mind being cutthroat. I don't mind saying no aggressively. I don't mind saying no with a smile. I don't mind saying no with an email. I don't mind saying no. A lot of people have a hard time saying no to people that is close to them, and this is a lot of people's flaws. People don't know how to say no to their sister, to their mother, to their uncles. Like I can say no easily. You know, and I don't feel bad. People are emotionally attached to say yes. And then they get themselves in shitty situations where their character didn't want to be in the first place. And now you bumping heads with individuals that you should have just said no.
Yeah.
You see, and it's like, so for me, it's like I live my life being better than who I was yesterday. And you know what, brother? I had a hell of a day yesterday. So imagine my today. If I'm going to beat yesterday, man, that's going to be amazing. So I always give that energy, give those blessings to that energy. And I focus and just moving forward. And there's so many reasons to go right. There's so many reasons to go left. There's so many reasons right now to just stand still and not listen to nobody.
I like that, to just stand still. How do you know about leadership? Who did you have in your life that was a good leader? Where do you get those skills? And like that no piece kind of, when you said you know how to say no, it took me a long time. It's okay to say no.
Yeah, I would say I learned this from Boss Rutan. He's a well-known Hall of Fame fighter. Yeah. Boss Rutan was a guy who was just like, man, he was just, again, he was cutthroat. I was in Thailand with this guy doing some seminars on.
You were?
Yeah, with
Boss?
Yeah, with Boss, man. So he was doing some self-defense, hand-to-hand combat stuff over there. And I was already over there teaching because I was living in India. So this is how I was funding myself in India. I would be I'll take a flight to Thailand, take a Muay Thai fight over there, get paid like $5,000, take that $5,000 and take it to India and then convert it. And the dollar was $1 to 60 rupees. So I was literally making like 3 million rupees a month just going to Thailand once a month. And so when I was over there, I started meeting Boss, but I used to fight with the World Comeback League. So Boss, it was really cool with Apollo Cook out of Oklahoma. I'm just throwing some martial arts names out there.
Yep. Please. I like it. I'm a huge UFC fan. I've had Alexander Volkanovski on the show. I had Aljamain Sterling. I've had a ton of people on here. So yes.
Yeah, so this guy right here, he taught me so much about just understanding, like, you can be a fighter, you can be a champion, you can be all of that. But at the end of the day, are you a real true warrior? And a real true warrior is going to stand even when the ground is shaking. So I take that energy from this guy. And so I started just saying, you know what? This guy is so right. When someone would tell him, man, your boss, I'll pay you $25,000 to come over here and teach my students. He'd be like, no, bro, I don't like your style. No. And I'm like, bro, it's $25,000 for a week. He's like, I don't care about that. And so I learned, like, just watching his movement in Thailand. People, oh, come out, and he was like, no. Oh, please come over here. No. But imagine I took that energy to India. I agree. And I immediately realized that, like, you just can't say no to everything. You have to indulge at some time, because I never drink tea. And when you go to India, everybody's offering you tea. And one guy told me, sir, if you never taste tea, why do you say no? And then I tasted, and then it was amazing. And I thought, holy shit, I actually like chai. And then I started saying yes. And then I always say, like, you can't be so strong on saying no to the point where you say no to blessings, you know? And so you have to be open. And this is when I started combining what I learned from Boss to my own journey. And I go, man, I'm not a no guy. I just don't mind saying no. I love saying yes as well. I love helping people. I love serving. I love praising. I love doing all of those things to raise people's vibrations up. But then some people, they don't have the intentions to raise their vibration. They have the intention to just use your vibration to get wherever the hell they want to go.
Oh, yeah. I got lots of people like that in my life.
So,
what do you do with them? For some reason, I'm okay with it.
Oh, I'm totally okay with it. I always tell people, like, listen, like if you're going to use me properly. Don't try to use and throw me. This is where the physical altercation comes in. When people,
I shouldn't say I have a lot, but I have some like that. I have people in my life who use me. It's so funny. Some people don't want to be used. I want to be used.
Just use me. Use me up.
The fuck out of me.
Yeah. Use me up, baby. I don't mind. Use me.
Out of me. Yeah.
Use me properly. But if you misuse me, there's consequences and repercussions because of that.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm a sponge. Use me to clean dishes. Don't leave me in the sink. Set me out so I can dry.
Facts. Take care of me.
Set me out so I can dry. Next time you come, I'll be fucking ready to fucking clean more dishes.
I'll be ready to go again. Yeah. Like I have stores in the malls, and then I'll have some of my salesmen, someone will come up and be like, can you please tell me where the Apple store is? And then they'll just give them the wrong directions. And I go, it was better for you just to say, I don't know. Why give someone the wrong direction? Oh, I'm tired of these people coming and asking me. I don't work for the mall. I'm like, bro, it's human kindness. Just tell them the right direction when you know.
Can you imagine being like that?
Bro, imagine.
That dude's ego is bigger than fucking Mike Tyson's. That is fucking nuts.
I was like, I'm not a fucking director. I'm like, bro, are you fucking kidding me? You're standing in the middle of the fucking mall. People are going to ask you questions.
What stores do you have?
So the name of my company is called the Holistic World. So I'm big into
what? Say that again. You broke up. Sorry. Say it again.
Holistic World. And so I'm very big into like minerals, crystals, and things like that. So when you start understanding, like, and I learned this all in India, you start understanding everything that is coming from the ground is attached to us, and it has some type of properties to us. So I don't use minerals and crystals for like healing and all of this other thing. I use them for nice little things for in your home. So we make bonsai trees. So I make crystal and mineral bonsai trees. With the bottom of them will be actual amethyst. I think I'll put my website in the chat. I don't know if you'll be able to see it.
Okay, cool.
So you can.
I can put it in the. I'll put it in the YouTube comments too. I have a feeling you and I are gonna stay friends.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, that's for sure. I'm glad this happened.
I'd love to have you on the show again. Okay, let's talk about something else that's fucking crazy too, besides Bob Saget. So we have Bob. So we're waiting on more information from Bob Saget.
Yeah. So we're still waiting on so much information on Bob Saget. But for me, I go, the guy's a pedo. Like when you reap what you sow. Like at the end of the day, when people are having like these little.
I can't go there though. I can't call him that. It's so harsh.
Oh, bro, you got to look at some of his stuff, man. You got to research it. Bro.
You know what? I think you want to know something? My wife used to live in LA, and I think she had a run-in with Bob Saget. And I don't want to tell the story, but it's actually a very, very weird story. I think he licked her ice cream cone without asking her.
Bro, let me tell you, bro. I lived in LA like a year.
And I'm just like, as you're saying this, I'm like, I wonder if that was him.
Bro, I'm telling you, these people are weird as fuck, bro. Do you hear me? Like I was in LA. I'm telling you, I was in LA, and I was literally doing some construction. I own a construction company. So we were selling home improvements from Las Vegas. One of my friends had his contractor's license in LA, but he was hurt and he couldn't use it. So I used it, and I put crews together, and I sent people all over California selling home improvements. And you would come up into some of these celebrities' houses, and you will go in there, and being an energy guy, you can sense the energy there. And some of the things that they would have in their home as just like decoration, you're going like, bro, like, why would you want your children to see this shit? Why would you want your children? Like, I've been into people's houses, not putting their names out, but it's like they'll have statues of grown ass priests with like naked boys, and their boys are like 12. They're like 8 or 9-year-old statue boys, and they're like naked standing next to the priest. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, why would you have this in your house? And you can't even say nothing because you're like the contractor.
Right.
You see this shit, and it's all over LA. I went to an 86-year-old woman's house, and she had nothing but black candles in there. And I said, what the fuck? Like, why you have all these black candles? And then when you go around the corner, it's like pictures of like Baphomet, like goat. She has like horns everywhere. And I'm like, man, this bitch is a witch. Like, she's a fucking witch. And she's conjuring up negative energy in this neighborhood. And I'm sitting here there to put windows and a roof on this lady's house. And I'm like, damn,
this world is crazy.
Did you just fucking put me right here to see this shit, to know what I'm dealing with out here? It's crazy.
Okay, guys, this is some fucking really weird shit. This is some really fucking weird shit I found on your Instagram. This is fucking bizarre. This is fucking crazy. Here we go. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can. Oh, let me see.
Oh, yeah, get it up. Yeah.
Can you guys hear this?
Way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these, some of you, I think many of you know it, and it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes.
What are you pushing into the skin, Sandra?
Sarah?
Carrie? What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
What the fuck? How?
Bro.
What's that lady's name? The blonde lady, the comedian. What's her name? Ellen. That's Ellen and Sandra Bullock thinking it's funny that they take foreskin, genital mutilation from young babies, and use it as facial. Now, a part of me is like, okay, Sevan, give them some slack. Like culturally, for circumcision's okay, and like people are stupid. Like, but I'm struggling, man. This is fucking. I can't even believe.
Oh man, this is light work. That's light work.
This is fucking nuts. By the way, Sandra Bullock is hot as fuck.
Bro, that's light work. Do you know Oprah is doing the same thing with lotion?
She has little boys' foreskin in lotion?
Bro, she put that shit on Steve Harvey's hand. And Steve Harvey was like, what is this? And she started explaining to Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like that. The same, like, bro, I'm telling you, these mainstream puppets, they put the weirdest, like, I won't even say they put, like, these guys are literally, like, they have been okay to be used, like how we said, as a bad vessel, you see? And because of, they promote it and they prioritize it and they blue check them for the cell phone world, they're like, everything they say goes. Like, for an example, Ellen DeGeneres has never been married, has never had a husband. She's a lesbian, so she has her own woman. She's done all of this, but she's giving relationship advice.
Yeah.
She's telling people how to be mothers. Like, who are you to tell someone how to be a mother when you're not one? Like, and then when you start digging into her, you go, bro, you got ties to Epstein, you got ties to the Clintons, you got ties with so many, like, dark energy individuals. What makes you think that you can have a talk show and be the light of so many positive conversations when the whole audience is created? You remember when all of the talk shows came and the corona was there, so they took out the audience?
Yeah.
So imagine they took out the audience, but they kept the sound. So when people watched those shows, there was nobody in the audience. But
they did that stupid shit in stadiums. They did that. I'm so glad the UFC didn't do that fake ass shit.
I was so glad, man. I was so glad.
So the NFL is such a fucking racist shithole organization.
Man.
So is the NBA.
I agree.
It's a tragedy. Hey, just anyone who wants to see a fucking amazing movie, if you have kids or you're gonna have kids, or if you have any fucking like thoughts about cock in general, you have to see this movie, American Circumcision. You have to see this movie.
I've never even heard of this movie.
It is fucking intense. A friend of mine got his boy circumcised. First of all, no one would. I didn't get my boy circumcised, but if I did, you would never do it out of my eyesight. But he was telling me after his kid was born, they took the fucking kid and put him in a room and they circumcised him. And he said the screams that he heard, he's never heard in his life ever before. But he was still okay with it. I'm like, motherfucker.
Wow. No.
Okay, I want to play one more, and then I have to go. I have to pee and like go kiss my wife and my boys. But what a fun show this has been. So a few days ago, I saw Melinda Gates, and I was tripping on her. And then I saw this on your fucking website, and now
I went in. I'm gonna tell you about an experiment. That I did.
Is that Kevin Kline?
That's Kevin Kline, bro. And
yeah, Melinda.
That's not Kevin Kline in a wig. That's fucking Kevin Kline in a wig.
Yeah, her complete look has changed.
Yeah,
in a year.
Now
I noticed it a couple of days ago. I saw her on TV or on the internet, and I'm like, "What the fuck happened to Melinda Gates?"
You see,
she used to be pretty.
That's him. And people, and so I did that experiment right there. You remember on what was this? Pet Detective. Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is a man.
I saw the movie, but I can't remember. Yeah.
All right. So Jim Carrey did a little skit where he kissed a woman, and then he was trying to research, and then he was trying to do an investigation on some corruption, and he realized the woman was the man and the man was the woman. So what I did, I put a picture behind me of Melinda Gates. And I said, Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is a man. And then I put Kevin Kline there. And then everybody started laughing. Bro, he got millions of views on TikTok. All the black people laughing, all the white people laughing. Everybody was laughing. And then I told my wife, I said, you see how the algorithm works? When you're a black guy making fun of white people, they will blast that shit out everywhere and promote that.
You think that? You think TikTok knows you're a black dude?
Oh, watch this. Oh, of course they know, because they're into dividing. They're with that. So imagine this. I did the exact same shit with Michelle Obama. I did the exact same thing with Michelle Obama. Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn. And then I said Einhorn is a man. Big Mike. It went viral, but now people wasn't laughing. All the Black Lives Matter people came at me. All of the Democrats came at me. All of the lefties. Everybody came at me because now I'm talking about their queen or their king. So imagine, I tell people, I said, I didn't even give a damn. I can care less. Why are you hiding it? If you're transgender, okay, fine. Why are you manipulating that to kids?
Right.
If you want to be on that other side, toodles, do you, boo-boo. Why are you saying it and showing kids that they can do that also? Nobody need to hear that shit. Did you know right now there's a school teaching children how to tuck in their genitals?
What do you mean a school?
Bro, I'll find it. I'll send it to you. I'm literally doing more research on it, but I've got enough research to be able to say it. But I'm going to find out the exact. I think it's in New Jersey. There was a counselor or something like that, and they were teaching sexual literacy to the school. It wasn't the school. See, somebody said it. Corey said this. It's a school in Oregon. Of course it is. Yeah, bro. Yeah, you
here. Someone just said Oregon's Children's Hospital.
Yeah. It was something like that, man. They were teaching children how to like tuck their shit in. Like it's crazy what they're doing right now. But did you know Victoria's Secret even have a panty line with like dick prints?
What does that even mean? Wait, before we go there, I want to show this. So you have this post here, and it's blocked, and I'm thinking it's gonna be like, you know, someone dead, right?
Yeah.
And I can't even believe this gets. This is mind-boggling to me that this is censored. Mind-boggling. So like you click on it and you see the post, and this is the head of the UN, right?
Oh, you see this guy? You see?
Yeah, and I don't even know if that's really him. That looks like CGI to me.
Bro, that's
but either way, why would you block it? Why can't it just be funny?
Because they know it's real. And this guy is telling the world, you need boosters, you need vaccines, you need to be safe, go into your home. And if they show the world that this is the guy that's saying that, no one is going to believe it.
I mean, why block this? Why block this? It's crazy.
Oh, hold on. I think
that means the show's over.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Everything is in Hebrew. I think I'm back now. There we go.
Martin, I had this this whole show planned out, like to come at, like bring up all this stuff on your Instagram. And it's weird. Like I didn't know how, like, I don't know. I stay away from all those things like InfoWars and all those things that you have on there. But I knew that I needed to talk to you. I knew I needed to talk to you and like have our energies mix. And I'm so glad I did. And I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to continuing the relationship with you. You guys, you can't just, you have to type in at Mr. Mr.HOLISTIC to get to this fucking account. It's not even crazy, the account. It's not like dead bodies, or it's not dark. It's cool. It's a cool account.
It's just the truth. I go, man, I walk a walk that most people are like, how do you do this? How do you, I immerse myself around the people. And now the people are becoming like just weird as fuck, double mask with air shields on. And and I'm laughing at this shit. I'm showing people like, bro, they're sitting here talking about it's a pandemic, but they're throwing everybody's on the plane. And then when we get on the plane, I'm the only one on there without a mask, and everybody's saying, how are you doing it? I don't allow people to do it. Say this shit to me. You see what I'm saying? It's like, just don't entertain it. Don't entertain it. Like, don't give the energy. Like, don't give the energy to it. And you'll be amazed how many times people just won't. I told a guy the other day on the flight, he was like, sir, you're going to have to put that mask on. I said, do you want to fight me for it? No. I said, there's no problem. He was like, well, you're going to have to sit in the back. I said, well, that's where it's happening at anyway. Like, who cares? Like, I'll go to the back, bro. Leave me alone.
Hey, you know what you should have done? That what a great chance to do a funny video. Be like, you telling black man to sit in the back?
Yeah.
Get your phone out. And then just be like, I'm just kidding, bro. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know it's because you're a pussy.
Great grandson, bro. What the hell?
Yeah. All right. Martin Dcosta, warrior of God, Mr. Holistic, super entrepreneur, lover of life and light. Wow, we have a lot to talk about.
And I started doing stand-up comedian. Like, I started doing stand-up comedy, bro. And the reason why I did that, because I always speak the truth, and I always get shadow banned. I always get censored. I'm always getting an alert that my account is going to be blocked off permanently. So I said the only way to be able to speak the truth and no one truly take it serious and just laugh at it is to be a comedian.
Yeah. Well, so you got to be a fighter, a rapper, or a comedian. Those are the
three. Yeah. So I said, man, I started like doing my own comedy. Like, I started doing virtual comedy, and man, it is like it is absolutely amazing. So on my website, which is MrHolistic888.com, that's where I promote most of my.
Tell me what it is again, Mr.
Holistic, no dot. So it's just MrHolistic888.com.
Didn't even find out what the 888 means. That'll be next show. Oh shit, it wouldn't load for me. Reload.
Let's see it.
It says this site can't be reached.
They're lying.
Let's
see.
Oh, okay, maybe I got it.
You got it now? Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
So imagine I'm teaching like Forex. I'm teaching candlesticks, because I think right now, if I just want to give everybody a little tip before we leave, they're going to reset this thing. They're going to reset the world and the structural way the money is. They're going to blame the banks. I think the banks are going to create negative interest rates here in the next like 2-3 months. People are going to yank their money out. And then once the people yank their money out, they're going to go into a digital dollar. And when they go into that digital dollar, people are going to have to understand charts, graphs, People are going to have to understand these things. So I teach the foundation of understanding candles. And the candles are the bars, or the green candles going up and the red candles, the money's going down. I teach these things to just the regular individuals who are interested in learning. And you'll be amazed how so many people are out there selling subscriptions and like ripping off people, when I'm like, man, people need to be educated, because so many people right now have a hard time texting. Imagine the irresponsibility of people with digital wallets, and they just give up that link, and then people wipe out their wallet. So it's going to come to a time where we're looking at a global famine on the horizon. You're looking at individuals who are wealthy at this point right now, or just high middle class, dropping down to lower class, and it's not even going to be their fault.
Yep.
So it's like you can't even go back to the drawing board, because there's nothing you did wrong. You know, you just got to start over at this point.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I have to cut you off because I have to go take a pee and then start another show in 10 minutes. Brother, you have my text message. You have my text. I have your text. Let's stay in touch. You can text me 24 hours a day. I don't sleep by my phone. I'm always available to you. And